probably think that as someone who runs a recruitment business and who's worked in search for nearly 20 years, that I'd have a good hiring record, right? Well, these days I think it's not bad, but since starting Singular, there have been some real lessons when it comes to getting the right people on the bus. People lessons are always the most expensive ones too. And bringing the wrong individuals into the company has probably cost me a small fortune, to say nothing of the intangible costs of training, time invested, missed opportunities, and the impact on culture. I've delivered hundreds of hires for clients and probably thousands through the teams I've managed, but when you're the one making the decision, it is different. The good news though is I've developed an approach now that works most of the time. And to save you the expense and heartache that I've had to go through, I want to share with you the 3 key principles that I've developed for hiring brilliant people. Number 1 is to be absolutely, positively, crystal clear about what you want. This one's the foundation, and it's not as straightforward as it might at first seem. Clarity is difficult, especially for small companies, and this point goes a long way beyond the job description, although that is a good place to start. Step 1 here is getting to grips with the problem that you're trying to solve. There must be a clear benefit to hiring someone into your team or business. Almost always, that benefit will be either to save you time, to make you money, to save you money, or to bring in expertise that you don't currently have, in order to save you time, make you money, or save you money. If you find yourself replacing someone who's left or been promoted, do you actually need a direct substitute for that person? Or has the scope and nature of the work changed since you hired them a few years back? And the hint here is yes, it probably has. If you're offloading something from your own plate, what's the scope of that? And what are the results that you expect? Thinking in terms of the problem that you're solving, the outcome you want, and the results that you expect is a really helpful starting point. Don't hire someone unless you absolutely need them. It's the most expensive and the riskiest way that you can grow your business. But sometimes it's the only way, and sometimes it is the best way. Once you've defined the problem, then you can create a role profile that identifies the skills and experience someone needs to possess in order to solve it. Keep this profile to an absolute minimum. What do they need to know or be able to do on the first day they arrive in order to deliver the result you want? Anything beyond that is a bonus, or it can be learned. By keeping your core requirements to a minimum, you keep yourself open to the vast multitude of people who could come in and transform your team. And it is always more about the person than the skills. But of course, some roles do require specific knowledge or experience in order to be delivered effectively. Staying open to the broadest range of candidates possible is crucial, because the most important part of defining what you want is in deciding what kind of person is right for this role in your business. What are the characteristics, rather than the skills, that will make someone successful? For example, I met recently with the leadership team of a biotech company who are in the latter stages of developing a very promising new treatment for cancer. They're very focused on this specific program. They have a 2-year timeline to deliver it, and they can't afford to spend much time getting people up to speed or in managing friction between their people. As a result of that, they need to hire individuals who don't mind working under pressure, who have a proven ability to deliver successfully and on time, and who play well with others to achieve a common goal. Their technical skills and experience remain important, but are secondary to these characteristics. Now, your company and your team will go through periods where it needs different qualities to move forward. So think about, define, and write down what those are right now. Once you have clarity, you also need alignment. If there's more than one decision maker in the hiring team, which there almost always is, then take the time to make sure you all agree on the problem, the profile, and the qualities you're looking for before you start the search. It'll save you a lot of wasted effort down the line. Number two, base your decisions on the evidence. It is scary how often hiring managers and executives will walk out of an interview and say, yeah, I liked her. Or, no, he's not right for us. But who are then unable to explain their reasoning when asked for it. And this happens with both inexperienced interviewers, because they don't know any better, and with very experienced leaders, because they think they know it all. What's actually being made here, though, is a decision about whether they like the person, not one about whether they'd be good for the job. There are several problems with this. First and foremost, it's human instinct to like people who are similar to us. Hardwired into our brains is the capability to pick up subconscious clues that tell us this person's one of us and they're safe, or this person's an outsider and they're dangerous. The amount of published research on the importance of diversity in teams is staggering by now. So hopefully I don't have to convince you that bringing in people with different backgrounds, different perspectives, and different life experiences is highly desirable. And this kind of instinctive thinking sabotages our ability to do that. Second thing to consider is that some people are just good at interviews. They're likable, they're confident and engaged, they have good body language and smile a lot, and they're interested in other people, which of course makes them interesting to talk to. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, and those qualities can be useful in some roles, but not in every role. They might lack the attention to detail, tenacity, and rigorous adherence to standards that you need in your next hire. Just because someone's good at interviewing, it doesn't always follow that they'll be good at the job. A better approach is to use your interviews as an opportunity to gather evidence. Having already clearly defined what you're looking for, your conversations with potential hires should all be based on questions that start with, tell me about a time when, what have you done in the past too, and what's the best example of... Look for specifics, not generalizations. Ask about the detail of projects they mention in response. What was the goal? What did they do? And what was the result? If they succeeded in their goal, what were the key factors? And if they failed, what did they learn and how have they implemented those learns since? And make sure you get to the bottom of how the interviewee contributed personally, not just what the team did. If you find they're saying we repeatedly rather than I in their responses, that can be a sign that you need to dig a little deeper. Now, this is all standard competency-based interviewing, and you might well have encountered it before. What's often not mentioned, though, is that you should look for evidence of the skill or the quality that you're looking for, not necessarily of having done the specific task that you need doing. If they do have direct experience, great, but every drug program is different, science moves fast, and what worked 5 years ago may no longer be relevant. Don't be blinded by experience and charm. Look for evidence of skills, characteristics, and capabilities. And number 3, paint a picture of an exciting future. Presumably, you want to hire people who are good at what they do. Now, there are 2 problems with that. Firstly, top performers are typically already in good jobs where they are well compensated and looked after. Secondly, they're in demand. If someone great is considering a move, it's very unlikely that you're the only show in town for them. It's often said that a hiring process goes both ways. The candidate is interviewing you as much as you're interviewing the candidate. And that is especially true for top performers. But it's often forgotten by companies. You have to sell your opportunity to the candidates you want to hire. And you have to do it more effectively than your competition and more effectively than their current employer. Now, how do you do that, you ask? Well, it's all about storytelling and painting a picture of a compelling future. High performers are usually ambitious. They are also usually very committed to their own development. Those are the things that you need to appeal to in order to attract them. And there are 3 steps to doing this effectively. Start by talking about your mission and vision. What are you trying to achieve as an organization? What impact will it have on whom if you're successful? And what will the company look like and feel like when you achieve your mission? What will people inside and outside the organization say about the company? And what will you and your team remember from the journey? People who are great at their job want to feel that they are doing important work and contributing to something that matters. So begin there. Then help them to see how they will both contribute to your mission and vision and progress their own career while doing so. Remember, they're likely already in a good job and probably therefore have options. Your focus here is to convince them that the opportunity that they'll have with you is far better than any other opportunity they have on the table. Where could they go in the organisation? Well, this is a powerful question to answer. When we're hiring at Singular, my message to potential candidates is always, of course, we want people who will be great at the job we're hiring for now. But what I'm really looking for is people with greater ambition and potential than that. I'm trying to find our future COO, the president of our US business, or the managing director of Asia Pacific. Show people what they could achieve and get them excited. And thirdly, you have to convince great candidates that you will stretch and develop them. What will they learn from you and your organization, or from the role that they'll be performing, that they won't learn somewhere else? Why should they put their career in your hands? What do you know that they don't? Now, this is a crucial step because top performers often think very critically about whose advice they take and about who they listen to. They need to be convinced of your credibility before they'll throw in their lot with you. Now, maybe you've just started out on your own journey though, and you don't have tons of experience. Well, in that scenario, it's a different kind of credibility that you'll need to establish. You might not know more than they do, but if you can demonstrate the uniqueness of your mission, your passion for it, and your absolute commitment to succeeding, as well as to supporting them in their career, that may well be enough. Sometimes those people with plenty of experience are just looking for an exciting project that they'll love being part of. And if you can convince them that yours is the most exciting project around, they'll happily join you. Look, it's hard to hire great people. You will make mistakes on an ongoing basis. But if you are clear about what you want, if you base your decisions on the evidence, and if you sell a compelling dream, you can be right more often than you're wrong.